Hey viewers, this is I, James Kalm, half-assed reporter, the guy on the bike, and we're in the financial district of Manhattan, near Wall Street, in the Wall Street Bowl. We've got a very unique exhibition we're going to try to get in and look at. Stay tuned. Well, we are in an exclusive elevator. They've got a magic key card to make sure you don't get out of any place except the 19th floor. So, we're on our way. Okay, here we go. We're going to be visiting a mini-retrospective by Christopher Wool titled See, Stop, Run. And it's in a building at 101 Greenwich Street on a floor where they're doing some rehab work. And the show is curated by Anna Pontegni. And I'm not sure, but there are thousands of square feet. I think the other thing that's interesting is that I've got a chance to see a lot of his sculpture that I haven't seen before. Well, I was curious because in the descriptions, I think they had a little chat with Christopher, and he's talking about, yeah, it's great, we've got windows on 6 sides. I'm thinking, okay, does that mean we've got north, south, east, and west, and then top and bottom? But no, he's got a courtyard that we were talking about. Okay, we've got the eastern wing. Barbed wire. Oh gosh, that's an impressive landscape. Oh gosh, a huge mosaic mural. Well, I asked for a guide, and they've got this beautiful laminated piece here. So we're going to start out at number 1. This is Untitled 2021. It's edition of 2. And this is 2 out of 3. Copper-plated bronze. Well, there are a lot of things we'll talk about as we saunter through the show. There's a lot of work here, so I'm not going to get to all of it. We'll just kind of skim over some of this. Gosh, I'm looking at this. There must be, what do they have listed? 72 pieces. And most of them are untitled, which makes it easy for me. Well, so this is a silkscreen ink on linen. So 108 by 96. So we're talking about 8 by 9 feet, something like that, 9 by 8 feet. Well, I think Christopher has gotten a lot of attention from contemporary critics because I think he kind of recalibrates the idea of what originality, expression, the ontology of art, all that stuff. It's also untitled. Oil and inkjet on paper. It's another sculpture. Copper-plated bronze. So I was talking about kind of the strange removed position that a lot of this work represents. And by that I'm talking about, okay, so this actually looks like it's copper pipe, and it could be just bent, and it may have been, except that then it was cast into bronze, and then well, it looks like it's been tack welded together again, and then plated with copper. So it's sort of like going through 3 or 4 more stages to kind of imitate what it started out as. And a lot of his paintings are in kind of a similar realm. Untitled, Oil and Inkjet on Paper, 2020. So it kind of does a splashy, squiggly, abstract expressionistic thing on top of a digital print. And it's probably a digital print of one of his drawings, or something, maybe a picture of one of his sculptures. But that's the kind of ironic area that these images are playing with. Also, having these windows behind the paintings makes it a little harder to get a good view of the picture. Untitled 2023. Silk screen is 120 by 96, so that's 10 by 8. So if you were to look at this, or even say if you were to see a photograph of this in the newspaper or an art magazine, and it's reduced down to 4 by 3 inches, 3 by 4 inches, you would look at this and you would think, oh gee, look, it's a kind of a splashy action painting figure, somebody's face maybe, a little head with some eyes. Then when you get up and look at it, you realize, no, this is all digital. And so suddenly the idea of the angst-ridden abstract expressionism, the kind of like spilling your guts out kind of thing, is removed at least one time. Well, I can't find the title of this, but this actually looks like barbed wire, although I'm probably had it handmade somewhere in China and then fabricated somewhere else. And I would say that's probably about 6 by 5 feet. It's hanging from the ceiling. It's titled Not So Loose Booty. This is 1995, enamel on aluminum. 76 by 60. It's about 6.5 by 5. Anyway, I think I first bumped into Chris when I was making deliveries for the Utrecht art supply store, and I dropped in his studio. It was off Chatham Square, which is in the heart of Chinatown, and he was actually upstairs from a little Buddhist temple, which I think may still be there. And we got a suite of his works on paper. I'm not going to give you the titles of all these, but I would estimate them at 16 by 14. Anyway, even at that point, I was sort of looking at the work. I didn't know him from Adam, but Something about the work stood out. I think he was getting a bunch of cases of black paint from Utrecht. Okay, so these are all probably got digital prints behind them. And I think that may be oil paint that he's supplementing that with. It's another big painting. It's untitled. Silkscreen ink on linen. This is 2019. And one of the pieces that's actually got a couple of colors, so we've got kind of a burnt sienna and a black. Well, I was talking about the idea that all these images that have been digitized and kind of reconfigured through photography kind of relates to an idea that I think it was Hito Steyr was talking about the wretchedness of the screen, which talks about the way that our video world is kind of degraded by generations of being reproduced online. Okay, this is also untitled. Okay, so this is Wire. 2023 14 by 29. We'll just kind of skim over some of these barbed wire. I think they're mostly untitled. Although the plinths are beautiful, and I guess you could also say that taking something very quotidian, very average day to day, or something that was even pulled out of the junk heap and putting it on a beautiful plinth kind of distances the piece from something else. Oh boy. And now we've got a performance artist here working with us. He's doing his Dada piece. It's untitled. Oil and inkjet on paper, 31 by 22. Okay, I think the next piece we're going to look at is maybe one of the most impressive pieces in the show. And it's this piece. Untitled 2023 Mosaic. This is 11 by 16 feet. And, well, they don't talk about who made the mosaic, but this is very, very impressive. One of the things I love about this is the way that they were able to go in and with tesserae, which is the little pieces of glass or stone, they were able to go in with the tesserae and create these pretty convincing looking squiggly brush strokes. I think the other thing that's nice about that is that well, we're down in the Wall Street district, and there are a lot of buildings down here that were built in the teens, 20s, and 30s, into the 40s, when a lot of social realism and public art was being commissioned for buildings like this, and so there were a lot of famous mosaics down here. I think even Jackson Pollock and maybe Lee Krasner were commissioned to do mosaics for some of the buildings down here. Also, I think it's great they've got a kind of a difference between the stone, the glass, and there may be some pieces of ceramic in there. Okay. Yeah, I can imagine what the title of this is, but I think it's probably untitled. Okay, more untitled. Wow. Okay, so this is 10 by 8 feet. Actually, I'm kind of disappointed because I think the earlier work that Chris was doing with the words was probably the work that got him put on the map. This is untitled 2022 edition of 3. Copper-plated bronze. So it's interesting that he decided to leave these scorched places where the welds are unplated. You could have plated over everything. You don't even have a homogeneous copper surface. Untitled, 120 by 96. Anyway, I would have liked to have seen some of the text pieces, and I think that also kind of started the whole notion of making paintings that were kind of produced by a machine that used imagery that was dictated by the alphabet and typefaces, things like that. And I think Christopher's kind of been playing in that realm of synthetic imagery, or the way the mind and the media and all these things kind of create well, I can't say a false image, but a more art, as far as art relates to artificial imagery, than people that are claiming that art should be about life and reality. Okay, so this is a suite of photographs of sculpture. At least that's what it appears like. This could all be faked up on Photoshop or something. You could have based these on drawings, and I guess that's part of the whole thing, is when you start to think about the realms of reality and how they're portrayed in things like photographs or video or movies. There's always the question of, is it real? Somehow a photograph seems to document the real world, but now that we can do deep fakes and all that, it kind of throws a doubt on all those ideas. We'll start on the west wing. So we've got some photographs here. I think I read someplace that he's out in Texas, maybe the same town that Don Judd had his foundation at, Marfa, something like that. So this is Untitled. Another older piece. This is 1995. Actually, in the press release, they said most of this is work from the last decade or so. So I've seen a couple of pieces that are, gosh, 30 years old now. '84 by 60. Okay, so, gosh, I'm wondering if this pattern in the back is also some kind of silk screen, whether he went in there and hand painted that. Also, yeah, they're saying this is on aluminum, which is another way of kind of distinguishing yourself from the old oil paint on canvas. Also, this installation is kind of interesting because all these stripped out walls kind of make this seem like some kind of a recovery after a nuclear blast or something. We've got some kind of dystopic background. Again, this is oil on digital print. One of the interesting things for me about this is that I've been working on a map of downtown New York and Quincy Slip for the last couple of years. And there was actually an art project that was done here in the, I think it was maybe the mid-'70s by Agnes Dennis. I think it was titled Confrontation, where she planted a 2-acre wheat field out there on landfill down here before all these skyscrapers were built here in the World Trade Center area. Okay, here's our ephemera. Oh, there's the classic word pieces. Oh gosh, and he's put these exhibition books together. Let's see what we've got in here. Okay, so these are all prints. It's got a little more color in some of these. On top 2023. Well, I was looking at an article the last day or two, and they're talking about how See Stop Run is actually a show that is not for sale. Nothing in this show is for sale. And one of the points that they bring up is that Christopher had a incredible run and had some of the highest auction sales recently for living artists. And so they were wondering how this affects someone's career. It's Untitled. 2021, more of the copper-plated bronze. Also, I've been talking about how there's kind of a reset going on in the big box art market. Well, maybe not the big box, but pretty big box. There's a lot of galleries that have been closing lately. Chime Reed. Betty Cunningham. Metro Pictures. Mitchell Innocent Nash. And I guess the COVID lockdowns and the whole way that art is being consumed these days has been changing. Also the record prices that have been going around for a lot of artists have kind of crashed in the last 3 or 4 years. Saying more Untitled. Anyway, the fact that Christopher's decided to take over this entire floor and present a self-curated exhibition of his work is kind of, I think, brilliant, interesting. Also, well, I've been involved in a couple of shows at similar kinds of spaces over the years, and every now and then you've got some developer that comes in and starts redoing a building, and they'll end up having some space that's open for a few months that they'll let somebody curate a show in. This is Untitled, 2018, oil and inkjet on paper, 44 by 30. Also, I'm thinking that, his palette is kind of repeated, and in certain ways, the salmon, the gray, and the black is a very decorative palette. Untitled 2023 silkscreen ink on linen, 120 by 96. Gosh, I don't know, man, if you've got 20 or 30 canvases this size and you're printing them all with silk screens, that means you've got to have, I mean, some of these could have 2 or 3 canvases or 2 or 3 screens that they're using. That would be a lot of screens. You'd also have to have a lot of room to do this. I've seen movies of Warhol doing some of his Chairman Mao prints that were also very large, but it also kind of brings up the issue of having an aesthetic idea, and even having the technology to do this still requires a lot of financial outlay. I didn't know that Christopher was such a prolific photographer. It's kind of makes me think of some of Robert Smithson's photographs. What was it? The Monuments of Passaic, something like that. Oh, this could be down in Texas, too. Oh, tumbleweed. More works on paper, Untitled. Oil on digital prints. .22 by 17. Got more wire. Gosh, I wonder if he collected some of this wire out in Marfa. That would be poignant. on digital print. Oh gosh, this is interesting. Okay, I can't find this on the guide. But it looks like it's carved limestone, something like that. And I think we'll wrap up our little tour of See Stop Run looking at this piece. Untitled 2023. Blah, 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 blah. Well, this kind of exemplifies a lot of the issues that much of Christopher Wool's work has played with in the last 20-25 years. So we've got the images that are once removed by photography and digitizing, and then in this case I think that he's printed this, and you can actually see the crossbar struts in there, and then he's off-registered the screen and taken another run on there, so you've actually kind of got two images. So in that way you could say it's almost a double false image. I think there is something beautiful about the way the computer digitization, pixelation kind of breaks everything down into these nice patterns. Almost like fabrics or various other kinds of patterns. So this has been James Kalm reporting on See Stop Run. Here at 101 Rector Street in the financial district of Manhattan. You can like this, share, link it up to all your social media sites, and you can leave your thoughts, ideas, comments, criticisms, and reviews below. And you can also subscribe again. Thanks for watching, and just remember to say thank you, Kate. Whoa! Fantastic. Fantastic. Thank you.
We're done. Yeah.
Yeah.